Well, time now to flick through the international papers. Florence Villeminot has joined me in the studio at France 24. Flo, Syria is getting a lot of attention in the international press today, especially after evidence has emerged of a fresh massacre in the northern city of Aleppo.
Absolutely. We're going to start by looking at Sharq al-Awsat, which is a pan-Arab paper based in London. There's a very angry editorial piece by Tariq al-Umayyad. Now, he's angry at comments that Barack Obama has made about why the U.S. is not intervening in Syria. He says, "We do nobody service when we leap before we look." So Tariq al-Umayyad says, "Are you serious, Mr. President?" He says that Obama's understanding of the region is terrifying. Obama, according to him, doesn't realize that the humanitarian crisis in Syria will lead to a very complex security, political, and sectarian crisis, and that if the U.S. doesn't intervene now, it's going to spend the next 30 years confronting this crisis. Now, in other Syrian news, according to Al-Akhbar, which is a Lebanese paper that's seen as being very pro-Syrian, it says that Bashar al-Assad's wife, Asma, is expecting her fourth child, and it quotes unnamed Arab visitors who were in Damascus who report this news back to them. Now, there's been no confirmation from Damascus or from Asma's parents who live in London, but according to several reports, she could give birth very soon, in March, actually.
Okay, let's talk about another conflict in Mali this time. There's been reports of revenge attacks in the northern cities that have been liberated by French and Malian troops.
Absolutely. This is a photo that we're seeing a lot in the press today. It was taken in Gao. You see a photo of a mob here surrounding a man who's suspected of being, who was suspected of helping the Islamic rebels. Now, this photo is also, as you see here on the front page, of the International Herald Tribune. Now, this comes, as you say, as there are reports of reprisals in both of these northern cities, Gao and Timbuktu. The press is also focusing on what's next for France, what's next for the French military operation now that those two strategic towns are free. There's a cartoon, for instance, in the International Herald Tribune today where you see France drawing a line in the sand because France has said that it probably won't be sticking around for very long. So you see François Hollande there drawing a line in the sand, stopping a French tank from advancing. Meanwhile, the Islamist militants there are waving a jihad flag and rushing off into the desert.
That's good cartoon there. The British press, meanwhile, is reacting to Britain's growing military commitment in Mali.
That's right. It's on the front page of The Independent today that says that the gamble for Africa, the Mali mission is sucking in 400 British troops. Now, according to the Ministry of Defense, Britain's role could widen, and The Independent reports inside that across the political spectrum, there are fears of what they call a mission creep. This would fears that the UK forces could be sucked into a Vietnam-style conflict without any defined exit strategy.
Moving on to the US now, Barack Obama said it was time to reform the immigration system.
That's right. Now, his comments came after this bipartisan group that you were talking about issued this memo saying that they were also, it was a framework for this kind of reform. The editorial in the International Herald Tribune, it's focused on this today, and it applauds this, and it says, now we're talking. It says this is going to be a very long journey, a 1,000-mile long journey to be exact, but at least it's begun. This is a moral imperative for the United States. Now, the Wall Street Journal, which is more conservative, also looks at this immigration reform, and it says that the important question to ask is whether Obama really wants a deal or if he wants to make this a political issue. According to the Wall Street Journal, Democrats usually use the immigration card to draw votes in elections. It says that this is probably what they're going to do in the 2014 midterm elections. So it hopes, though, that Obama will embrace the fact that the Senate, the framework of the Senate, is very open to this immigration reform and hopes that he'll seize this opportunity.
And Flo, finally, a completely different story, but North Korea is more, quote, on the map. Quite literally. Quite literally.
This is in the Wall Street Journal as well. It's become a little bit less of a mystery. Google has revealed in its Google Maps application more information about North Korea, and we can take a look, actually. The map of North Korea is fleshed out more. You see more street names and also the locations of certain prisons. Now, according to Google Maps, this is because of the, there you see the map as you see it today. This is the hard work of citizen cartographers on Google Maps, so check it out today.
Florence Villeminot, thank you very much. That was the International Press Review with Florence Villeminot.